blue herons. Those are the two most common that we see here year-round. And the ospreys, actually, if you look over there to the right, at the top of that dead tree over there, there's an osprey. Those are the three most common. We do have a couple of bald eagles that hang out around here that we normally see a couple times a day. Does anybody know what kind of trees these are we've been traveling through here?
Mangroves?
That's right, these are all red mangroves to be exact. There are three different types of mangroves. There's a red, a black, and a white. The only way to really tell the difference is that the red ones are the only ones that have the root systems that grow up out of the water like that. These all just started moving into this part of the Everglades back in the 50s. The Army engineers came in and closed the dam, the Lake Ochopee. It cut off a lot of the fresh water moving down to South Florida, and it started allowing a lot more of the salt water to move inland, and it brought in the mangrove seeds. Now that they are here, we have one of the biggest protected red mangrove systems in the world. If you notice, I was mentioning about the root systems growing up like that. That's one of the main reasons why they're protected. They help prevent storm surges from hurricanes and high and low tides, and from the coast of Florida from erosion. They're also beneficial to the ecosystem. They help filter the water for the fish, manatees, alligators, things like that. I did see after one of the recent hurricanes that we had, they're trying to make it mandatory for the people living on the beaches to install mangrove systems in front of their property. I don't think it's going over very well for them though. It was 14 and a half feet. The crocodiles get up to 19, 20 feet.
Oh my God.
You guys notice a lot of the grassy area over here on the left of us. That's what this part of the Everglades used to look like before the mangroves started moving in here. You know, if you took a picture of this area back in the 50s, you're just going to see grass as far as you can see. Not one mangrove was here before then. That's how much it's been changing over time. The meaning of the Everglades is actually the river of grass. The Seminole Indians gave that name many years ago. You can notice the main highway you come in on out here. If you go 1 mile north of the highway, it's all fresh water only. So this is like the meeting point for the fresh and salt water. The highway is like a divider. That's why anytime you do travel down that road and you look on the north side, you're going to see a lot more cypress trees, a lot more grass, a lot more palm trees. Everything you see on our side is going to be majority mangroves. Unless they happen to open up Lake Ochopee and reverse some of the water flow, I would say the next 20 years or so. Most everything on this side, the biggest I'll jump on right there. Come right to the boat, looks like. Usually the small ones like that are a lot more skittish to the boat. They take off and run, you know. The bigger ones we see out here, the 10, 12 footers, you can pretty much bump up next to them, they'll never move. Honestly, I don't see them that small out here very often. That's big. The smallest we normally see is probably like 4 or 5 feet. This guy here is probably about 2 feet. You guys know how to judge the size of an alligator? Usually if you look from the nose to the eyes, however many inches are there, or typically how many feet they are. You can usually judge the sizes like that because they grow around 1 foot per year. Up until like 5 or 6 years old, and then they'll start to slow down a little bit. The males do continue to grow their whole life, just not as fast. You know, the older they get, a little bit slower they grow. They do normally live in the wild between 30 and 50 years. They have been known to live up between like 70 and 80 years in captivity though. They do have around 2,000 pounds per square inch of closing pressure in their jaws. I'm talking a 10 or 12 foot alligator, that's between 25 and 30,000 pounds of closing pressure. But a fact about that is they don't have any strength opening their mouths. You can actually hold their mouth shut with 2 fingers and they can never open. It's all in closing pressure. Well, I usually tell people if you ever end up in the water with one of them, you just grab them in a headlock. You should be good. Survival tip 1. Solar panel. They're called scoots, and basically because they are cold-blooded, when it gets cold out, their bodies are shut down and turn lethargic. That's why we always see them out of the water sunbathing all the time. It draws the blood to the top of those plates and sends warm blood back to their body. That's how they get their energy, hunt for their food, and stay underwater for so long. Anytime we do get a good cold front down here, by that I mean like 50 degrees. Typical Floridians, they don't like anything under 70 degrees. But they can actually go under the water and they can stay there for up to 3 days until they feel the water temperature rise, and then they will come back down. They don't breathe underwater either because they are cold-blooded. They can shut off the majority of their bodies and slow their heart rates down about 1 to 3 beats per minute. Basically a hibernation. Very adaptive animals that have been around for centuries.
Living on his own, or is his mother around, or is that size there?
Yeah, once they get that size, if he's 2 foot, he's close to 2 years old. They're already like a year, the first year. May and June is mating season for alligators, so we will start to see more around each other. A lot more fighting. If you grew up down here in this part of Florida, you basically grew up on airboats your whole life, you know? Most of us have personal airboats, much smaller, like 2 or 3 times. Most of ours have airplane motors, so they're a lot lighter than the car boat. Actually, if you look over here to the left, little red one right there. Much smaller, much lighter. You can drive this on the main highway. So one of the guys here, he's been clocked doing 97 miles an hour on this. Compared to these, we do like 30. Actually go over towards Miami and